Okay, self-defense, here is your footwork, homework, or at-home study session. So basically, when I am from my stance, a good shoulder width stance, on my toes, hands up, ready to go. If I want to go forward, it's basically what we did for our jab. I had you drive off the back leg, add a little bit of a cheat step as you came forward. You're going to do the same thing, but now you're going to move both feet. So I'm going to pick up my front foot, my back foot pushes, but both feet spring forward. So I don't want to see a step and then a drag, but both feet spring forward. To go backwards is the exact same thing in reverse. So I pick up my back foot and I push and both feet more or less move together. Okay, so not one, then two. Okay. Think about whatever the distance, your shoulder width distance is, but I'm gonna pick up my back foot, I'm gonna put it on a dot as my back foot or my front foot draws back. To go left or right, it's the exact same principle. So if I wanna go to my right, my left foot is going to push, my right foot will do the step, and I will go to that side. It doesn't matter which foot is in front. Same principle. And vice versa. If I want to go to my left, my right foot pushes, my left foot picks up, and I spring to my left. As I said, it does not matter which foot is in front. Okay? So we do this, and if you're doing this in your dorm room or your bedroom or something like that, then you probably don't have as much space. So amend as needed. Okay, in excuse me, in class we're going to do 3 forward, 3 back, or 3 right, 3 back, 3 left. So we just make a box. Okay, so for starters, just hands up, rid alert. Okay, so 1, and then I only have 2 for the camera, so I'm going to stop there. If you only have room to do 1, then I guess you're going to make it like a waltz and just basically go around. Going to the right, okay? 1, 2, and going back. 1, 2, going left. 1, 2. And once you do that several times, both sides, okay? Now, as we move, I will stop and check you routinely to make sure 2 main things. Let me move back over here so you can see my feet again. When I move, as I slide over, we have 2 main tendencies. Number 1 is I start to bring my feet too close together and I start tight roping. Sometimes when I'm moving backwards, my feet start going in line, okay? So I end up tight roping, which we talked about. I'm not going to be able to have any power on my back arm strikes because I can't rotate. So watch the tight roping. When we move laterally, okay, so when I move side to side, sometimes people have a tendency to start to square up, like you're guarding someone in basketball this way, okay? So we end up squaring. So now I don't have a front foot or a back foot. I can't jab with my front hand. I can't cross with my back hand. I have neither because I'm square, okay? So when I go sideways, I have no tight roping, but I have to keep a lead so I have a front hand and a back hand. Okay? So be very careful. Make sure you're checking and making sure that you're doing that. Okay? Once you've done that a little bit, then you're going to add your basic jab. So I want you stepping forward, and maybe you won't be as loud in class if you're in your dorm room or whatever, but still, we would be audibleizing. As I do my jab, I'm going to push off my back leg. I'm going to step into my jab. So moving forward is no different than like we did in class already. It's just, as I said, you're using your other foot to come up as well instead of just taking that little cheat jab, right? So jab, moving forward, okay? One more time. And back up so you can see. Jab, jab, straight ahead. Now, 2, 3, 4, the other 3 directions. So as you make your box, I want you throwing that jab. Figure it out. Okay, so basically, sometimes it's easier to just show you what I don't want, right, and to illustrate the mistake, right? So when I move sideways, I can, what I don't want to see is I move my feet and then I just kind of paw outwards. when I move backwards, I don't like hit as I fall backwards, right? So I can either like step, I kind of drive off this leg as I start to step, or as I step down, as I start to bring this foot over, I kind of turn my body into it. Okay, if I have the other foot forward, maybe I step and then I turn into the jab. Going backwards, right? I don't fall backwards, as I said. I can either punch and then spring back, or I can move backwards and then spring forward back into the jab. But I can't be falling backwards and trying to hit forward at the same time. So we just have to find a way to get that connection where we're grounded, we have our body behind the punch in some way, shape, or form. I'm kind of turning into the punch again instead of just swinging your arm. So go slow as you need to and just feel that connection. Feel how you kind of get that all, again, everything working together. And again, not just swing your arm as you move around. Okay, so I would encourage you just to do the box, however big your box can be at first. Okay, go do several in a row, right? So moving forward, jab, jab, jab. Moving to the right, jab, jab. Okay, going back, jab, left jab, jab. Okay, and try both sides. Jab, jab, going to the right, jab, jab, okay, backwards, etc. Okay, then I would have you kind of just on your own, which again, if you have a small space and you have about this much space to work, right, in your dorm room, you might not be moving a lot, but just instead of making the box waltz and just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you moving around a little bit more sporadically, and then I would randomly cue you. So you can come up with a timer or make your friend do it, or just kind of, but try to make sure that when it's, on someone else's cue, not when you're necessarily ready yourself. Be like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna step into it now, jab, okay? Back out, I'm gonna step into it, jab, okay? What I want, or what we want to develop, is basically no matter where we are, where we're going, boom, you can figure out when, right, when the opportunity presents itself, we're always under control, and when that, bam, it's there, just on the moment notice, whatever feels right to you. If you can figure out a way how to pull the trigger and have, a decently stiff jab as you do it, okay? So we would work on being able to do that, okay? Then we're going to add a bit of we're going to start to work on combinations, and the first one is our jab cross. So depending on how big your box is, but let's say I could do my jabs moving forward. 1, jab, 2, jab, 3. On the third one, jab, and then I want your hip to turn on your cross. So you're going to go with your backhand, kick palm heel, jab, cross. Again, what I don't want to see, coming more at the camera, is jab, 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 cross. Just arm, okay? Not much better is jab, 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 cross. Where, as we talked about, do not confuse turning your upper body and shoulders with turning your hips. Okay, so, I set my feet, I turn my hips. Take your time when you do it. I step into my jab, this hip stays back, okay? If I step and jab and my hips are square, I got nothing on the cross this way. So I step into my jab, this hip stays back, and now I can turn my hips, and what's this hand ready to do? Pull all the way back to my jaw as I turn my hips. Okay, so one more time. Jab, 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 cross. Set your feet, turn your hips. Okay? Jab, 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 cross. Okay? Set your feet, turn your hips. All go every direction on that box. Okay? So you're getting used to moving in every direction, keeping your feet underneath you, not only to drive out into the jab, but being able to rotate into your cross. Okay, so if we get our basic footwork and tie it to our basic punches, then we'll be able to keep building on other combinations and things like that. And that's where we'll go after this. But hopefully you get a little practice on this. Again, be safe in your rooms. Don't trip over anything or anything like that. But hopefully you can get a little practice in it. Good luck.